Okay. Shall we get things going, eh? The final day of this final case. Here we go. I hope it's a long trial. I want to stream for a while anyway. Dun 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 dun. My thing's on. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Come on, please load. Ugh. Okay, sick. Alright. Let's get this going, huh? February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? Almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Hello, Edgeworth. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 777 ID card number is. That, well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right, and Chief Prostitute Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know is the truth. It's to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, then it's now. February 25th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court number 9. Emma's gone. Lana's gone. I'm gone. You wish. Anyway. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Ajib in the bull yet? No, I've been drowning enough in this is my work. That's a good one. Don't think I can't top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Well, Lana, that is to say, the defendant has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make a simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Woodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. Prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. The request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Nope, the GOAT! The GOAT! One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Slam! Any ruling of the stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, You wish. You wish. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you'd have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Yep. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma. I'm a Sky. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. You sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. Trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. 2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Alright. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. Oh shit. Dun, dun. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under the Deputy Chief of Police, Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite a pair. I believe that you use the same office. That's right. I always sit at my sister's desk. I dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. Police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then, he ran into the Skye in Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. Was that the prosecutor doing? What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning in room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what he saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of the year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman. The victim. Hear more? So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? About to ask about the picture. We have that picture, I think. The only picture we got in the inventory. This picture the witness drew, I believe, has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? But I did draw it, I swear! I'm not just imagining it. This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. Let's see the imprinted image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us? The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. That must have been a real shock. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage. When the lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was being thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Alright, so what's that fourth one? Seems to have been lost, so... There's the picture. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, you are going to fucking flip. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over. Turn... Oh, wow! What is this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling there. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have that access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You could see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it was quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What?! Order! Order! Oh, Miss Skye, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Huh. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor, are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yeah, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. How do you not notice that? Something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Oh shit. Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that it's that thing? What? Dude, are you serious? That's that thing. That thing was just dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is a work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated the court record. Very well, witness. Hold on. What the fuck? What the hell? Weird. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. How do you not notice something's drawn on the back of evidence list for 2 years? This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. And this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. I think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Miss Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye. 2 or 3 days later. Memory should still have been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is all painted all black? The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked on the floor. You were knocked on the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. What? I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. What? I'm confused. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? After that, I must have fainted. Oh shit. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, it's the exact scene. I wasn't influenced in any way by your talks with the detectives. Slam! Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I better watch out, or we might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well... How strange. She claims this is exactly the scene of This is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. The picture I drew to you... Okay, hang on a minute. Let me look at that picture. Besides the fucking blue badger head, it is white in the background. Scene of the stabbing at the PD. My cancer quest. Serial murder, sentence death, Edward Jones, he's 9 years. Bates, head prosecutor, Miles Outworth, witness Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Well, why was Lana a witness? Oh, Sky. Rescue Bruce Goodman, rescue Jake Marshall, and just Star. At the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who would come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. This is the scene that she drew. There's no window. Okay, well, where's the blue badger then? Or I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. Let's try presenting the picture, because that's only half of it. Or it's the top half. Objection! No. It was wrong. Okay. There's Emma Sky's prince. What's up, Real Ace? How you doing, man? I don't know what the issue is here. After that, I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Stabbed in the back! Oh, dude! It's right there! How do you stab someone in the back like that? Not that one. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. Knife tip was in the wound. Objection! There we go. I found it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it was like it was yesterday. Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of the picture contradicts the autopsy report? Well, The way he's standing. I think it's this part here. I don't see what's so strange about that. That's because the drawing stinks. Well, crap. Mr. Wright, how could you? The act of making an innocent girl cry should warrant the death penalty. I guess she means the shift. I shouldn't shift blame to others. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Stabbed in the back. I mean, I wish I could read the autopsy report again. Well, the knife. Where's the knife? This is just a weird, like, vague rectangle. Maybe it's that they're referencing. The contract, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see the tip is broken. Okay. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See, the murder weapon? The tip is broken too? Okay, I see. Knife. Okay, I didn't know that was the issue. I thought the way the body was standing, it could have been stabbed in the back. I don't know. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. Oh, wait a minute. How would the knife be broken already before being stabbed? I see the problem. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. Okay, I see what they're putting down here. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Slam. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then why is the murder weapon should not be yet broken? Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. And it was broken beforehand. It couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. What does this mean? One of our objections, maybe. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered in the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. Denied. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Arg! Order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King and Prosecutor's Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there is no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? This is my thing yesterday where I called this out yesterday, I think. What are the chances of this being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Could there have been one? There is another one. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. The halberd was... So, let me save, because I don't know if it's the shield. Oh, I can't save. Okay, I don't know if it's the shield or the picture. Probably the picture. The answer lies in the past. 2 years ago in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife on the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was all likelihood from this award. Jeez. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in his dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! Okay, now that's done. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness. Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture on scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. First, the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Jeez. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning. That's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What? This is certainly the most unusual. Try impossible! The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Hold it! Stop, please! I don't pursue this any further! Whoa. Lana! What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the crime! Why can't you leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky, sit the fuck down. We've already come to this far. It's too late to turn back. Slam. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination, damn it! Is it okay to spill a little spoiler or nah? Depending on what you're about to spoil. Are you about to spoil this game, or what are you trying to spoil? If you can keep it light, I don't see why not. I mean, this case. You can try to keep it as light as possible without giving away the answer to the case, sure. Also, I gotta figure out if I can add stream avatar controls to YouTube somehow. I gotta figure that out. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of this matter. Emma's recollection. Okay, go on. Okay. When I saw that man raise his knife... Hold it. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I could really see were shadows. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident. It is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you... I panicked and rushed toward both of them. Oh shit. Why would you do something so dangerous? Well, what else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we just theorized, Mr. Marshall is the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think of was, I've got to help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What if I did? It's kind of all a blur. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to the murder that take place. I cracked my collarbone. Maybe not. Ugh. With so much happening in the matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next? Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Distance no way, right? Are you sure about this? Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. What the hell could you have seen that looks like the blue badger? Or how could you see the blue badger? Now I finally remember. Oh brother. Just when you thought that thing caused enough of commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. He wasn't in the room. His shadow. So you mean you didn't actually see his face with a winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had three creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have been possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think. What's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? So then, by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was. What was MSL in its lightning flash? I don't know. I don't even have anything that looks like a blue badger in here. I got this. It's her handprint on some kind of cloth. Who's this dark man? Joe Dark. Unstable jar. I haven't done anything with this yet. Wait. No, wait a minute. Oh, dude, it's right there! Oh my god! Wait! Oh my god, holy shit! Oh my god, no way I just figured that on my own. No way. Oh my god, it looks exactly the same. But wait. Would have to be like... No, I guess it doesn't matter which way it was. That's it. Either that way or like... No, that is the way. I think. Yeah, this has to be it. Literally, that's it. Okay, well, now I know. The vase looked like a blue badger, though. Okay, I see. I think that's what you were trying to say. Who is this blue badger, really? I think I know. Blue badger hadn't even been trumped up when Emma drew this picture, yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright. In this room. Very well, Mr. Wright. That is what the witness saw. And then what is it that the witness saw in that instant? The vase. I was wondering what this fucking thing was supposed to be. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't even look anything like the blue badger. Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? We gotta show them the correct angle. Just look at this from. Thanks for the guide. Yeah, it literally is, too. It has to be like... like that. Allow me to remind the defense's case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, then we cannot accept this claim. I've got to find the right angle. Yeah. I thought that was enough. Was that not enough? Maybe it wasn't tilted back enough. Let's try that. Not? I must not be doing it right. Maybe it's more like this. It doesn't make sense to be like that. Oh, maybe I'm right. Maybe it's backwards. No? How am I supposed to tilt this? No. Am I not tilting it right? I could have sworn this... Maybe it looks more like in front of my TV here. That's a spitting image. How the hell else could it look like that? Oh, this music. I don't have to look up a guide just to know what this shape, how to make this tilt. It's not possible. Only front scene. Yeah, it's gotta be that. That looks more like it than anything else. Maybe it's just not straight. There we go. Oh, I had to line up the back circle. I see. Okay. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. I got it. No, it can't be! Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What is your point? What do you mean? So, the Badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? The murder weapon. It's got blood on it. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. A very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Well, yes, while knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? And where? The location of this jar is shown in the picture taken the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Dan. How the fuck would someone get that thing up in the air, though? That thing looks heavy as shit. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall could not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murder involved? The murder moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would you do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? You're asking me. I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through. Oh shit! If she knocked the man away, the jar would have fallen on him. Oh no! It was an accident. In this next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? I don't even know what could have sent the jar flying. That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked to the wall. I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to the picture once more. If the man was knocked into the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ah! A pseudo-arm? Oh! Oh, it's like a fucking... Like a seesaw. It fucking launched it in the air. I see. A pseudo-armor holding a very sharp, dangerous-looking... Oh. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to ban Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If the events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky was knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh, shit. I thought... Wait, what? No. We Luminol tested the pseudo armor. There was no blood on it. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? That's not at all what I thought this was going. I thought they were saying the jar fell on the person. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So is the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Uh-oh. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances... Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall! How could you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Oh shit, she's not looking good. Mind the train in the background, sorry guys. Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved the Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would have to be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This all has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Shit. Touché, Miss Sky. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For the better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I have got to think back when the court record. The real murderer's name the victim may have left behind. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. There's no way it exists. If it'll tell me, right? Doesn't exist. No. There's no way a dead person could tell the murderer's name. Well, it looks like this is as far as we can go with this. Mr. Wright, you disappoint me. I never thought you'd be the type of call your feelings cloud your... Well, I always say no unless it is yes, just in case it is no. My feelings? If we overlook the victim's message, one he would have written with literally his last breath, everything would be lost in darkness. Okay, well then yeah. Perhaps that thing really is a clue I'm looking for. This is it. What the hell? V. A. If that's it, then I have no idea. Wait a minute. Blood traces. I guess we haven't found out the reason why this is locked up. The piece is locked up. Can't afford any more mistakes. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, will you show us a piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased? Is it the jar? I mean, like... Looks like it says V on V minus? Seven? Oh! Oh! 2, 3, 4, 1, 7. Oh my god, there's 7 dots. And out of the 4 next to it, but that's a 7. I see. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood in this jar. You can try to write a person's name. That doesn't even look like a name, though. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Oh, luminol! Duh! Fucking idiot. I haven't even figured that out yet. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood is some of the fragments were not wiped away. I see. I thought it was... Uh-oh. If that's the case, that's an M, not a 7. Those dots, there's an E, and one there is an A. Oh, fuck. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used a few precious moments left to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines change directions. Precisely so. All you need is to connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No! Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these stains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim had written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Why wouldn't we just use luminol? Would that not work? It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message of Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Shit. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. Seaworthy, I can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. Now he was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ah! Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Slam! But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That is undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Anything but Trump. Anything, anyone, either or, honestly. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Oh jeez, uproar. What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How could he just stand here like it wasn't his fault? Order! 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 Oh crap. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Oh Jesus. Man! Not Emma! Come on, man! Jeez. February 25th, 12:06 to start court. Defendant I'll be number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Dude, again, you do this every day. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Gumshoe, get back here. Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Oh, poor guy, I feel bad for him. He's just trying to do his job. You got a lot of nerve, pal. Make a detective run around while on duty. And on top of you, call me here. I've seen happier. We've went through the same scene, do we not? I take it long as having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? What the fuck? Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about it just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the proper approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Explains the 2 rules of evidence law. You need a book that long for 2 rules? Doesn't look like that book will do any good now, though. 3 full pages of evidence. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented, it must be relevant to the case on trial. Doesn't look like that book will do any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why am I still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Oh man, my back. Oh yeah, Real Ace Scout. If there's any stream avatar that I have available that you'd like, you may ask. I can change it for you. Since I don't know how to do it for YouTube, I'll have to do it manually. But we got Mario, Paper Mario, Pokemon. We got Celeste. We got Doki Doki. Most things we got available. We have. If you want to have a specific avatar, you can have anything. I don't have Ace Attorney because that's not one. Otherwise, I'd be using that right now. But yeah, if there's anything you'd ever want, go ahead and ask, and I could probably change it for you. Alright, everyone calm down! Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all four of the witnesses. What? Well, there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts this prosecution's proposal. Now it's settled. The defense, you may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is good as over. The defense calls. It's time to finally come to bring out the real murderer. He's top dog in PD. Damon Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. Well, as luck would have it, he would still be in this courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. He's going down. Here we go. Boss time! Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Slam! Your name and occupation! So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant. The court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time Lana's sister murdered the prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There's still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave, or you're very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. Chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. That's stupid! Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. The SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, we found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. So he's just gonna block my presses? I don't think so. I don't know these times you try to save, and he's like, you're gonna have to do more than that, and then blows it away or some shit. That'd be fucking scary. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up, that power outage didn't help either. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it in the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. When I went into my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to him were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. How could you know that? Because of the victim's body. He'd already been moved, so that means... You found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. I think it's this. We got a % like the cloth or something. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence were inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you better be off staring at the court record. Worthy, always a smooth talker. But which piece of evidence is Tag's gain to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence. But that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. So I'm thinking it's either this. Found in Chief Gant's safe, evidence from something, but what? Or... Found in Chief Gant's safe, evidence, so let's reset that. The safe. You claim you had nothing to do with this forgery? I think either or would be fine. But I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badge you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list was presented earlier was actually found inside at your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then. That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or did you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Ah, shit. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? Slam! However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know when to put two and two together. Well, we're gonna make the whole thing. Evidence and forgery. So let's see, what was now a jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Then there's no reason I'd participate in the forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Ooh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief. But would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy, in return though. I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Hang on, I just gotta check Discord. Heard a message, up here. Alright. Evidence and forgery. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. I'd appreciate it if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry the evidence, can you? You can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they are found inside my safe, then they would prove this investigation was illegal. Grrr, I never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but supposedly I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found in a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, righto? It all depends when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. That's just stupid. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient, right? The chief is talking about a possibility, so as long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, righto. Think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end of the person responsible for that Marshall's unfortunate demise, it was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 really sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you may wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only three people I look out for myself. Only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There. It is out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough to be yourself, though. Ho! 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 Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? According to an accomplice. Wait a minute. These were in the... He'd be helping out Lana, no? True. You might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might have decided to assist someone. Mr. Wright. It appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped to forge evidence? Lana Sky. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Dude. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Oh my god, I've never heard this game so quiet. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive, to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she's testifying against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that the Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, But Chief Gant, but the Chief's now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in the law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That, impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It is too late, Mr. Wright. Slam. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? The chief, a high-ranking officer in law, is involved in this murder? Good question. But regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it's better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Where's murder didn't give this current form? No trace, no prints. Only food an hour and a half before PM. Pictures memo found on the car trunk. Muffler was overheard. Call made Emma 518. Parking lot of his car. Taken by Angel Star, a crime was committed. White animal shoe bears traces from Goodman and Lana Sky. Found at the crime scene, wrapped in defendant's muffler, a small tag attached. IDs fall into the evidence room. Evidence from a past case Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request. I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Show us evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. I don't even know, man. I really don't. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. What ties him to him? Well, my first thought is the knife found at the crime scene, wrapped in the defendant's muffler, a small tag attached. Evidence from a past case to Edgeworth's, brought back to his office by Gant's request. You haven't figured that out yet. Go dark. This has both their names on it. Hey, that's a guess, as if it's yes on files. Really, ID card? That's it. ID card. What about the ID card? I'm seeing. What about the ID card? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, you mean this? This is the ID card list? Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list that we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my ID card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... Nope. I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime! I see. Oh, he's pissed. Look at his eye twitch, bro. He's not happy. Get that pursuit going. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Besides the ID card record? Or 20, he went in. On the day of the crime, wait. Half-written document dated 10/20. Oh! Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. And you were in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because you need to enter the evidence room that day. You needed to. Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective into the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman would have entered. The murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered that room. Jesus. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Yup. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Objection. Nope. Nah. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Whoa! Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as the place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lon at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. Look, you're forgetting something, Mr. Wright. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Bro Pool Awakening. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless coup taking up space. What? How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Yant used this. The car? The car, right? But... parking lot with Edge's car. It's either the photo or the floor plans. Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Hang on, I think I got that wrong. Playing parking stub? Oh, is that what I have to use? Okay. Huh? And I'll help you dispose of it. Oh, fuck. Chief Gant stayed at the BPD and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. At least only one possible way he could have moved the body. The only problem is, how did he get him to do it? Maybe that piece of evidence really did have something to do with this case. Is it the parking stub? This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth. You mean? The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car! You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office, the screwdriver. I was wondering what that thing was supposed to be for. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Edward's car. Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one possible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. It was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk being taken away. It is exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, righto. I'm having lunch with the district attorney general after this. We have to get going if you're to make it in time for the early bird special. You're going nowhere. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye depose? No, I don't! Do I have any concrete proof? No? There's nowhere that says, oh, hey, move this. Muffles harm me to Emma. I don't think I do. No prints. No, she stabbed him again with the dead body with a knife. Me just say no. Just as if there is, it'll say it. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Udgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Don't you disappear, you bastard! Someone say something! Do something! No! I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior... Ooh. Oh, crap. This is an affront to the senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What?! Oh, Edgeworth, you goat! Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Ugh, I'm not doing that, bot. Get out of here. Thanks for the free follows, but anyway. Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth? Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling the witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana, I guess. The defendant, Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the final recess. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This course is now in Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant! I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana! He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty. For Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Get your ass back here. Crap. Judge's eyes are so fucking circular. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Crap, we gotta get her to say something. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Ha 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 ha! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office! My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl I used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair. It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. They haven't said those risks at all, I don't think. Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits the right to say anything too? He forfeits his right to say anything too. Emma! You're back! Emma, are you okay? Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery, so she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny, I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. I think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her, said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside, and to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey! Don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Need a drink of water. Damn it, that's it? Really? To be continued? Right. Now, almost 2 hours for that phase of the boss fight. 2 hours! Okay, let's go. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I am sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. So you know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Okay. Gant the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, that's where you put the cloth then. We have Emma's fingerprints. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to the capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Gant in the fabrication. Let's get this going. I worked side Gants for years. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that'll be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You did murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want an innocent incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana, that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago? When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? A prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. It's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away and then in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene that looked like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? How would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I thought I'd ask for the sake of others. Why'd you plant the knife? Why'd you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this more in detail. And the reason this guy moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered in the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar? You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away that what happened. The Marshal was dead, and Dark was laying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have broken during their struggle. I see. What? Wait. The jar must have broken during the struggle? But the jar must have been written on first. How does that work? What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar was shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only wish was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened! In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you in the end. She insists she fabricated evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it all alone! I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. I worked alongside Gann for years. There's no proof of that one, Harry. Fabricated evidence to get the 2 years long by myself. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, put it inside the wound and moved the body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence threatened my plan. Let's try the knife. Let's try the knife angle. Why'd you plant the knife? Why'd you do that? Come on, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness testimony. Reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it that might point the blame away for Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be to having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you in the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. I fabricated all the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Broke off the tip of the knife. Desk. Why don't you move it here? Reason for that is simple. Piece of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Precious again. Piece of the jar. You mean... Yes. The precious jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So... When you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it shattered to pieces. Go to the crime scene. It'd be clear right away what happened. Okay, so... Okay, that's what we need. Okay, that's where it is. Nothing to do with Emma? Well... Emma was written on the surface with blood. Shit. No. Maybe on the next one. Hold on a minute, let me, save. Dun 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 dun. So maybe not in this one, but in this one.
Objection!
There it is. This guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring it to everyone's attention. So, a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written in this jar with the victim's blood, and it was wiped away. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, he must not have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor. It seems you're in the dark as we are, about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, I couldn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. Though the jar was already broken, it's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks feeble as the defendant's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I couldn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them into dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just had barely enough time to remove the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else? What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were all discovered. More contradictions have surfaced in their testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing the right way. I think we finally figured out the contradictions in your testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. It was dark in the room, I couldn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I sure I got them all. And you didn't, though. It's still here. You still see the blood here on the vase.
Objection!
Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you are unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In Chief Gant's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. I see. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece of and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on this— Oh! Chief Gant got there before you. But didn't the defendant simply miss a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. How can you believe that? Shut up about your stupid dentures. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! No! Man, the judge is freaking out, man. He's not happy about this. Wait. I'm not the one on trial here. Damn it, Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar, and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. Therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. Uh-oh. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. I don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys don't make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that. Coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. What? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? What? Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing with Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There is nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Oh man. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that pseudo-armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If you only had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Oh my god, what? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. Well, I don't remember you receiving a picture like that. There's one thing you should watch out for later. There's a game over sequence as Gantt challenges to present evidence. Ooh, thank you for the warning. Anna must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. I mean, he admits it, but not yet. Okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. What the hell did I get? From Miss Sky. Oh shit, dude! Hey, there's a picture here. With a piece of cloth torn away. With Emma's handprint on. Oh my god, dude, it was cut off. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I'd rearranged everything. Honest picture. Crime scene photo taken from the case 2 years ago. Ah, Mr. Wright! That piece cut off from his vest. Could that be... Cloth we found inside Chief Gantt's safe. What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whose ever fingerprints those must be? The real murderer! What? Those fingerprints? They're yours, Emma! Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Oh, crap. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Jesus. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled to suit the what? Who said hold it? What the fuck? Ah! Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. I better save. Don't interrupt my cross-examination like that. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gantt. What, now you want me to make me out as a bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two with my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Dude. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone. So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping that quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt? Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? Oh, Jesus Christ. I better save. This is it. This is probably what you're talking about. Just because I want to see the game over, I want to press. I think I have to present it. The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marcus. I'm assuming this is the point. I can't show it. Just because I want to see the end. I want to see this game over. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie, Chief Gant. You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like a part of this got cut for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. And then it occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lady's sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And then I ended up using the evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This is before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For instance, for insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off the pieces, all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, let's say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too. Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. We know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant. If you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's not better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Okay, it's probably here. I'm gonna reload eventually and do it again, but I'm gonna not show evidence. No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. Circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? So, Edwards figured out my plan. What? Mr. Wright, this is your only chance, Your Honor. I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows you actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out to the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must have been authentic, conclusive evidence. Ace, is this the bad ending, I'm assuming? Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rito had all this time to present this evidence, yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma. Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ho, 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 ho! You're really something, Rito. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Sky. You knew those fingerprints were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. But Mr. Wright, it's a piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, our tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. This is a handprint, right? Yeah. Someone left behind an old oil stain on the oil stain. Whoever it was, they must have a really oily hand. That's right. Think about it scientifically, huh? A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on the freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over the hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on floors after school after they're waxed. Is the way it was cut? I'm not gonna say, because if I'm wrong, it's gonna... Well, you know what? No. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured, blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth! Wait. There's no blood on it! Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutors aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time! No! This is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could have been arrived in the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name in the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make it look like Lana believed her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you were actually the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Objection! Uh-oh. Oh, that was close, Strido. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is still illegal evidence. Oh, wait. Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Reggie? Earlier, old Rido here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rido? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Well, this must be it. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, true. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict another person. Assuming, of course, that evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright. It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did. No, if I admit to that, all my planning will have gone to nothing. It seems Mr. Wright didn't understand the... okay. If you're going to change your position, this is your only chance, right? He's right. I admit I refuse to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. You mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy! Don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't really believe! There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to this case on trial. Probably Rule 2. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Skye's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of cloth evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented in this case must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove its relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want to relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when it was that picture presented? You finished him. Oh, I was trying to go for the bad ending. Did I not do it right? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave you that value evidence was you, damn it, Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you. No. Oh, headache. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum! For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. For crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Wow, well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convicted Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman. Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's just too many questions left unanswered. He opened the evidence locker. As he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought if he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. Well, I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk? Well, what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grrr! Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had much to lose as I did. The truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it, but I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, too much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring this step down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. Well, what? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as it used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example of it to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Rido here, and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sound of a new beginning. Well, there are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up till today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you up out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky, and to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried about the pressure that might break you, and yet, you rose above all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as accomplice. The trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Oh. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Whew! We did it! Oh! That is all. This court is adjourned. February 25, 5:03 p.m. Court is not okay. At long last, it's finally over. Oh, and she's Emma? Why the long face? Sorry your sister didn't completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. Well, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought of you so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. The third time! Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Ugh, gumshoe. Get your ass back here! Poor guy. You're doing this on purpose, on you! Making an active run around while on duty. And on top of it, you call me here. I've seen happy people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sisters again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think of was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis. I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared what you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Oh. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find a new way back to our rightful path. And it is from here that we can move on towards a brighter future. At last, at least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right? Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Oh, that scowl in his eye. It goes over his hair. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I cannot correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really is to You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go at it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be the truth for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. Just in case they ask for evidence, I don't want to get it wrong. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to Daddy's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And it's because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on probably the picture, no? That might mean something to you. No. No. That's why we save these games. Probably this, right? Cloth? No. Oh, fuck. No! Whoops. Huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. Damn it! Well, I didn't mean to save over it. Whatever. It's time for me to go. What was it? I don't know. I didn't mean to save over my... Whatever. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends I need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened to kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know, it seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better get going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Oh, scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis, I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have a faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on my new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little bit matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me. Well, the folks in the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak around for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one to be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I can afford with my salary? You ought to be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Yeah, objection. Oh, man. Okay. That's one game donezo. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. Hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has been pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. One day, that'd be cool. What a game. That was a long case. Holy crap. This stream so far is 3 hours long, basically. Yikes. I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show. You can't shake me off that easily. Yeah, like a gum on a shoe. It's hard to get rid of. But yeah, what a game. Completed 1 out of 11. My new mission is to go out the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though someday I'm going to make a detective. Yes, sir, I can't be just like that Dick Jump Shoe. Go away. Oh, yeah, get out of here, you piece of shit, bastard. Oh, man. Hey, he's in jail. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown, a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr ran to sneak this into me. She's eating one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You ain't even getting Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? I almost wonder what that bad end looks like. Kinda wanna watch that. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the right way lunch. Top layer tastes bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids, oh, I didn't read that part. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. True. And I'd never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to. That better be... Huh? Oh no! I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go. Hey, Maya! Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. We haven't even seen this place yet. That's in the next game. I'm excited, though. Still, sometimes I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. I'll see you around, Nick. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, jeez. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. Hmm? What's going on? Thanks for coming to see me. Off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whatever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Oh, shit. Huh. letter. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Very well, Capcom. Good game. But this is not over. This is game 1 out of 11. This is just one game, my friend. 5 cases. Done. Now, we move on. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Next time on HansOBall plays Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Henecology. Henecology. I can't say that name right. See you all next time.